Do you like the Oakland A's? Are you a fan of the Golden Knights? Do you love the Los Angeles Chargers? Well then, my friend, you're in the right place. This is the Snake Sports Talk Show with your host, Jake the Snake Silva, brought to you by the Spotlight Sports Network.
So what if Aaron left? What if this did happen? Because the one team that for sure would be picking up the phone, calling and making a deal would be the Denver Broncos, from what it sounds like. That the Denver Broncos are willing to put in a deal to getting Aaron Rodgers, and regardless of what it takes, but you're going to be filled with a division with Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, and Aaron Rodgers. Here's the thing about the Denver Broncos, and I don't know about you guys. Is it me, or does Denver love veteran quarterbacks? Do they love the guys with experience? Denver has never, and I'll be honest with you, they have never spent their time developing quarterbacks. They've never spent their time developing quarterbacks. I think the last one was John Elway. That's it. Kid out of Stanford, rocket arm, accurate, and man, was he a force to be reckoned with. And he made some serious noise in the AFC. Went to a couple of Super Bowls, lost them, then eventually late in his career, wins back-to-back against he wins back-to-back against Green Bay and against Atlanta. And it finally worked. Everybody clicked. But after that, they had nothing but veteran quarterbacks. Brian Griese, Jake the Snake Plummer. The time after he was out of Arizona and goes to Denver, I mean, there was fun times watching Jake Plummer play. Then comes Jay Cutler, who they tried to develop and then gets traded to Chicago. And you all know the story from there. But ever since then, they then go and they trust to go into developing Tim Tebow. They get Kyle Orton. None of this seems to have worked. Then they go and get Peyton Manning, veteran quarterback. Colts were done. They have the number 1 overall pick, and they used it on one of the best drafting prospects in Andrew Luck. And then Peyton Manning wins a Super Bowl, retires. Then they're back in this process again about developing all their quarterbacks, Trevor Siemian, Brock Osweiler, all of this. And it doesn't seem to work. Then they tried with Case Keenum. They thought, we're getting somewhere, but still doesn't trust Case Keenum. Then they go and get Joe Flacco, and then that was all a mess. So it just doesn't seem like Denver likes to develop quarterbacks the second that Drew Lock came in. And now you're understanding why they don't trust Drew Lock. I don't trust him either. It's one of those things that Denver, for the last couple of years, and even from the years beforehand, they've butchered. They've butchered quarterbacks. They've had numerous defensive players that have come around and that were Pro Bowlers, Super Bowl champs, all of that. TJ Ward, Champ Bailey, Von Miller, Chris Harris. There were a lot of them. Even years ago, Steve Atwater. There were a lot of really good players that have come out of Denver, and then eventually the only players that really butchered was quarterback. I mean, even in the offensive side, you had Ed McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey's dad, Rod Smith. You had Demaryius Thomas, Eric Decker, Brandon Stokely, Brandon Marshall. They had no problems when it came to their offense. The only problem was their quarterback, if he was able to get the job done. So it just seems to me that if this Aaron Rodgers thing to Denver is very legit, this just kind of seems like it's Peyton Manning over again. That's what it seems to me. Because it looks like they're going to get an offensive line afterward. They've already got the pieces with Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, and then they go and get themselves, another running back because afterwards Phillip Lindsay, he's out. Melvin Gordon is there. The defense is still solid with Bradley Chubb, Von Miller. Then they go and draft Patrick Surtain along with Justin Simmons and AJ Bouye. What is that telling you about Denver? Denver's kind of in this position, and that's why I saw this in the draft the second they got Patrick Surtain, because they know who they're coming across, and Vic Fangio is a defensive-minded coach. They know what they're getting their hands into with Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Derek Carr. They love to throw. And Aaron Rodgers, if he fits this bill with Denver, then they have to fit the bill. We know what's going to happen with Green Bay because then they got to deal with Jordan Love. But if this thing with Denver doesn't work, Denver's kind of screwed because then they then have to look for the next big thing, or then they have to look at least, hopefully, a veteran quarterback that'll fit the bill. But remember this, Teddy Bridgewater is in Denver, but they don't give him any respect. They don't give him any love after injuries and after the times in Minnesota. So I don't know about you guys, but this has been just the hottest topic. And remember, though, because all of this, it got sprung up into the air in the draft, thinking that Aaron Rodgers wants out when he really doesn't. And then all of a sudden, this Denver thing starts to come around. And I know why Denver, because they always seem to butcher their quarterback since Peyton. And even since John Elway. They don't like to develop. They're more like, it's almost like this LeBron effect. Doesn't like to really develop young kids, wants more veterans, and that's what it seems like with Denver's organization. They want Aaron Rodgers. They don't want to develop the next big thing because they feel like he's going to be a bust, and you already know that Drew Lock is a reach. That's the open reality. And if that doesn't cross your mind, I don't know what does. But that's what it feels like. And so that's what I'm saying. I know for a fact this is not happening, but I'm just going with the what ifs. If this was a case that Denver ends up getting Aaron Rodgers, please. This is one that I feel like Denver, it's obvious. They don't like to develop their quarterbacks, and they're afraid that the next big thing is going to be a bust. Coming up next.